Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Spring has sprung, and the less time you spend in the kitchen, the better. That's why some of HelloFresh's delicious restaurant-quality meals come together in just 20 minutes. Get 16 free meals plus 3 free gifts with code MORBID16 at hellofresh.com/morbid16.
Hey weirdos, I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
Hey!
It was a show week.
It was a show week. We had such a good time at the show with you guys.
We really did. That was so much fun. We got super duper decked out.
My gosh, that was so fun.
I think someone nailed it by saying that we look like fairies from different realms. And I was like,
yes.
Whoa, I didn't even know that was the theme, but that was the theme.
We very much do. And then the little gifs that people were making of us because we looked so opposite.
Yeah,
I was dying.
It was
really
like fun.
Somebody put one on Twitter that was like my two different personalities.
Yes, I saw that.
That was like really
that's amazing. But yeah, that was like a lot of fun. We got to do it at the Black Veil in Salem.
If you haven't been there, you're the worst.
Guys, it's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. They're all amazing there. Matt and Ryan are like the greatest tattoo artists ever.
Of all time. Literally, I doubt that I will get another tattoo that's not done by one of the two of them.
Oh no, I know I won't get another tattoo if they don't do it.
Yeah, see, I just know myself and I know that I'm a little bit like, what's the word?
Impulsive.
Impulsive,
yeah.
Yes, very impulsive.
I literally will not have another one done unless they do it. So
I feel that way as well.
Mm-hmm. They were phenomenal.
Insane.
Yeah.
Tell them about your new tat.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I got my my David Bowie as Jareth the Goblin King tattoo.
It looks amazing.
And I love it so much. It literally looks like he's just living inside of my arm, and I love it.
Because he is now.
And I got the quote, "It's only forever, not long at all," because that's always been a quote that I've like really connected with. And I think more so lately I've connected with it because it feels like so many great things are happening.
Yeah.
And it just feels like everything goes by so quick. So even if it's forever, it's just like, whoop,
it's not long
goes
at
by
all.
in a second. So I got that on there, and it's got my drippy little moon.
I love your drippy little moon.
I just love it. I'm so happy with it.
It's gorge.
It just belongs there.
I got a pinup witch that I've been wanting for a while. She's riding a little broomstick, and she is just a fierce motherfucker.
She is.
I did name her Lilith because it felt so right. I wanted to get a cat named Lilith, but if we got another cat, Franklin and Lux would conspire against us.
Yeah, they definitely would.
Yeah. So Lilith lives on my arm forever.
Lilith is beautiful.
She's so gorgeous. I forget what this stuff is called, but like
it's like second skin.
Second skin. Yeah. We have that on ours, and I'm like dying to get it off there because I just want to parade Lilith around town.
Just parade her around town.
Just gonna walk around town like, hey, this is Lilith. She's happy to meet you.
She is. But you know, guys, it was so much fun. We loved it. That was our third Moment House show in that like trilogy of shows we were doing.
So much fun.
Hopefully we'll do more, but we're just going to take like a little bit of a breather because, you know, we're going to be starting to do 3 shows a week now. So you're going to get 3 episodes. Wait, not shows. I shouldn't say that. Like we're not doing like live shows.
No.
A week.
3 episodes.
That was misleading. 3 episodes a week. And then we've got some like other cool new shows coming out and just a lot of fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
So we're going to be busy with that stuff and we want to be able to concentrate on it. So we're just going to take like tiny little pause button on the virtual shows, but it was super fun.
Hell yeah, it was so much fun. And, you know, maybe we'll put together something for like IRL soon.
Maybe.
Like soon meaning months from now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not
for today.
We'll see. There's all kinds of good things happening.
Or another time.
So we're very excited. And today we are going to talk about something that you shouldn't be excited about, which is like, you know, there's some murder.
Yep.
Ghosts are pretty exciting, I guess. That's kind of fun.
Depends on the kind of ghost.
There's some ghosts in here.
Okay.
There's some like gnarly pharmacists, which is not great.
No, never great.
There's also like a plague that everyone like just ignored because it was happening during like a couple of other events.
A plague that everybody just ignored? That sounds weirdly familiar.
It like, right, it just kind of like
That's weirdly triggering.
Flew under the radar a little bit, so.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine a plague that everyone ignores.
This is like a crazy episode, I think, because there were so many things that I was interested in this, and so I just kind of like threw all of them in this one episode.
It's a smorgasbord.
It is. It's like a casserole.
Yeah.
Like a really yummy casserole of things.
I'm never going to say no to a casserole.
I love that because you know what? I was feeling in the New Orleans mood. Ooh. Sometimes I just get in that mood.
I get it. You wrote a whole book about that mood.
You know, and I've been looking at stuff to do with that, like stay tuned. But I have been looking at that and I've been like rereading things. So I was like, you know what? I got to do a New Orleans case. But I was like, I don't know. I want to do something spooky.
Yeah.
So I found it.
So you took it to a place of spooky NOLA.
I did. I took it to a place of NOLA. So we're going to talk about that crazy little pandemic that happened that I say nobody knew about, but like it was highly ignored.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah. I'm sure people knew about it because they were suffering from it. But we're going to start with that just because it interested the hell out of me and scared the hell out of me. And then we'll go into the ghost stories.
Okay, cool.
So during the infamous Spanish flu pandemic, which we talked about on this show before.
Yes.
That was like a pretty infamous event. But there was something even more well-known that was happening during that, which was World War I. That was a pretty big event.
It was.
There was also a crazy, terrifying hidden plague that was going on, and it got buried by all those things. So this plague was called lethargic encephalitis.
Lethargic encephalitis.
Or encephalitis lethargica.
If you're nasty.
Thank you for
You're
doing
welcome.
that. You
You're
knew
welcome.
it. You knew it was in there.
We've been just saying that a lot lately.
We have. I said that to John the other day, and he was like, oh.
John is always in a place of
He's always in a place of shaking his head.
When it comes to the two of us saying dumb things.
So encephalitis lethargica, it honestly seems like something made up in a terrifying horror fantasy novel. It's really scary. I'm going to be, if you ask me, which like you didn't, but I'm here.
I did.
You know, with a microphone. So.
I telepathically said, why was it so scary?
Why was it so scary? So this plague started somewhere at the end of 1916, possibly early 1917. And it looks like it began in Europe, but then quickly spread all over the world. The first mention and pseudo-diagnosis of this disease came from the Psychiatric Neurological Clinic of the University of Vienna, and it was found by Dr. Konstantin von Economo. I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry, I'm American.
You're doing amazing.
He noticed a lot of patients coming in with strange symptoms that could possibly be different things, like he could fit them in with like meningitis and things like that, but they weren't lining up clinically like perfect with that. So he was like, what is this?
Right.
Like, what's going on? There was very intense lethargy associated with the patients that were coming in with these symptoms. And the symptoms that they had were stranger and stranger as they went on. So he began writing about it, and he referred to the diagnosis of these patients as being from what he called encephalitis lethargica. Apparently at the same time, a French doctor was seeing the same kind of things in the hospital where he was at, and his name was René Cruchet. And he also was baffled that these patients were obviously not being able to be placed into an existing clinical diagnosis. So this illness could be found, like a lot of illnesses, to present as acute, and then it would roll into a chronic phase, which is scary. Both these phases suck ass, like a lot.
Oh.
So I'm going to refer to it probably like a lot as EL, just so I don't have to keep saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's a big word.
So acute EL would start as a really shitty version of the flu. You got the gastrointestinal issues, you got fever, chills, vertigo, all kinds of shitty things.
It's freaking me out a little bit.
I know, it's a little scary. But then this would pass into neurological distress. Now, the one, I know, the faces that Ash is making right now, trust me, this changes drastically from what you think it is.
From a place of cove to a place of lethargic.
To a place of very scary.
Oh, no.
So the one most would suffer from was hemiplasia, which is when one side of your body just goes into paralysis while the other is completely fine and working as it did before.
That's
so often when that would start, the person would just go into a deep sleep and wouldn't wake up for sometimes weeks. Like a straight up coma.
Okay.
Now, even now, we don't have a test to diagnose this. So it just ends up being something rare that they will have to accidentally stumble upon diagnosing you with. Like, not for real, like accidentally stumble upon.
Yeah.
But they just like exclude all other clinical diagnoses and just like end up on this and are like, I guess this is it.
What the fuck?
Because there's no formal test and there never was because they can't figure this thing out.
That's really terrifying.
It is. So the acute form of this had a few initial forms, like phases that it went through. One of these was the somnolent ophthalmoplegic phase.
Oh, just that.
Just that.
Great job on that.
Thank you. I had to look up the pronunciation, but
I was there.
We got there.
We did.
Sometimes, you look up the pronunciation and you're like, okay, I got it. And then you go to say it and you're like, nope, I don't have it.
Sometimes or every time.
Every time.
For me.
Exactly.
You guys know that I love the break-in protection that my Simply Safe home security system gives me, but it's not always outside forces that you need Simply Safe's protection from. Meet Amy, a Simply Safe customer and a chronic sleepwalker who lives near a 4-lane highway. One night a few months ago, she sleptwalked out of her bedroom and then continued right out the front door. That is obviously a dangerous situation, and she could have been heading for a really big accident. But luckily, as she walked out of her house, the Simply Safe entry sensor on her door triggered the 95 dB siren in the base station. That is loud. Loud enough, in fact, to wake her up before she wandered into the street or into some other trouble. Seconds later, Amy even got a call from Simply Safe, checking to make sure that everything was okay. Amy was a little groggy, but she was fine. Amy actually says that on that sleepy night, Simply Safe saved her life. Protecting people in ways they never could have imagined is just one of the reasons why more than 4 million people use and love Simply Safe, and guess what? I am one of those 4 million people, and it makes me feel real safe. In fact, so safe that we have a panic button in our bedroom. We can press that in case anything goes wrong, and just knowing that that's right there, I sleep better than I've ever slept before. Plus, literally, my house is Fort Knox. We have locks on every single door, like the Simply Safe entry sensors. We always know what's going on inside that house, and Drew can never scare me when he comes home from work because I already know he's coming. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/morbid. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/morbid.
But this was the most common phase. This phase caused severe delirium in the patient and uncontrollable body tics.
Oh.
This is the phase that makes patients feel extreme lethargy. They would be unable to stay awake, and when they would sleep, it would be for days at a time, sometimes weeks. This is the scariest part to me. This whole thing would then go into the patient experiencing pseudo-somnolence, which is when they would fall into the sleep while literally doing anything. In the middle of speaking, eating, using the bathroom, walking, the patient would just drop. Once this happened, that sleep, like I said before, would be significantly long. But pseudo-somnolence caused this patient to have their eyes wide open.
What the fuck?
And they would be fully aware of everything happening around them the entire time they were asleep, quote unquote.
Now, when you have narcolepsy and because you fall asleep if you have narcolepsy, like, quickly?
There's different types of narcolepsy. I think a lot of people think narcolepsy is just like you fall asleep all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. There's like a lot of things
Other
with
things that go into it.
narcolepsy that have to do with that.
Because my question was going to be if, like, this plague was causing so many neurological disorders. Is narcolepsy a neurological disorder?
I believe it is.
Fun fact, it is. We just looked it up.
We just looked at it. I knew it was, but I was like, I don't want to say that without looking
So
it up.
my question was, like, is this causing narcolepsy? But this is not narcolepsy, then.
No, nowhere in any of the things I found were they describing this as narcolepsy. This is like a very different thing.
Okay.
Because in narcolepsy, you're going to sleep. Like you're sleeping.
Right.
Like,
so you're not aware of what's around you.
And like in a coma, like they don't, like you're in a coma. But this was just like this catatonic state where you would just lay there with your eyes open, unable to move, and just seeing everything that was going on around you and hearing it.
Like sleep paralysis, but even different than that.
That's exactly it. And these patients would later come out of their, like, quote unquote sleep and tell their loved ones everything they saw and heard while they were asleep. And be like, I heard all of it.
The fuck?
And a neurologist named Oliver Sacks in 1973 was studying this, and he said about this, they neither conveyed nor felt the feeling of life. They were insubstantial as ghosts and as passive as zombies. And that's what's crazy. These patients were literally seen as like zombies because they were in a state of awake and sleep and appeared to be dead. And this phase was definitely the one with the highest mortality rates. Over 50% of patients suffering from this phase would die.
So, like, this would just happen at random times and then eventually they would die?
Yeah, because as we'll talk about, there's a lot more that comes after this.
Okay.
So a couple of other forms of this acute EL that, like, you could suffer from were the hyperkinetic form and the amniostatic akinetic phase. So the hyperkinetic phase included patients suffering from myarrhythmia of the ocular and masticatory muscles, which is rare and happens when there are involuntary jerks and ticks of the eyes and your jaw at the same time.
Ooh, that sounds very unpleasant.
Right? These movements wouldn't be limited only to the eyes and jaw, though. Like, that would happen at the same time, but it was the whole body as well. Like, a series of involuntary movements would plague the patients from every corner of their body.
What the fuck?
And these movements would cause involuntary screaming and vocalizations as well.
Stop.
And it wasn't over, though. All of this happened, and then they would slip into a manic phase of the hyperkinetic phase. This is where patients would start to hallucinate things during the day and at night, and their sleep cycles would reverse completely, almost like a narcoleptic kind of thing. But pain would set in because of the movements, and then extreme lethargy would follow. And isn't this, like, horrifying?
This sounds so terrible.
It gets worse.
No, like, how though?
The amniostatic akinetic phase was the one that
one.
is the scariest one to me.
It sounds, even its name is scary.
Right? It just sounds scary. It was the rarest phase, and it caused patients to suffer from waxy flexibility. And this is where their limbs would become completely rigid and could only be maneuvered by someone else, like a doll.
What?
Yes.
So you became a fucking marionette doll?
Someone could move their limbs for them, and the limbs would stay in that position until someone else moved it again.
So, like, literally like a Barbie.
You would literally become a doll.
No, that's so scary.
Yeah.
And this is for real.
This is real.
So how many, like, has this happened, like, anytime recently again?
So luckily it died out.
Okay.
But there are very rare times when it can happen again.
Oh my God.
And I'll talk about, like, how they think it transmits and all that, but it's very, not a lot is known about it still.
Okay, I'll wait.
So sometimes these patients would just be immobile and rigid, like a dead body for days.
Oh my God.
And it's like somebody with, like, rigor mortis.
Yeah.
Like, you're just cracking the rigor mortis and moving it into a different position.
That's what I was thinking.
And what's even scarier is during this whole thing, the waxy flexibility phase, their faces would not change or show emotions.
So, like, what if you raised their eyebrow? Would it stay raised?
You could literally just, like, be, and you couldn't, like, they could not make their muscles make any kind of emotion on their face. It was just like a doll.
This is so scary.
And this could last for months.
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 No.
Then we'll talk about the chronic phase.
There's another one.
So another one. So
Another one.
Another
You should
one.
see if you can stand in for DJ Colin.
I should.
It sounds so spot on.
Nobody knew that was me. They thought it was DJ Colin. So there's usually an acute phase and a chronic phase. There's that's happening with COVID. Even like chronic stuff is happening.
Yay.
So the chronic phase of lethargic encephalitis was terrifying. It could come immediately after the acute phase.
Awesome.
Or sometime years later and would just hit a patient.
Oh, when you had moved on with your life? Great.
After they thought they had recovered. One patient got it 45 years after having an acute case.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Patients would develop Parkinson's and suddenly fall right back into the sleep issues that they were having and the hallucinations, but then they would also get respiratory issues and neurological issues on top of it.
I need to know where the fuck this thing came from.
Oh, yeah. One of the scariest things to come from chronic lethargic encephalitis was sudden oculogyric crisis, which is the sudden involuntary upward deviation of the eyeballs.
Stop it.
So your eyes would just roll back in your head without your consent, and it would last hours. And you could not move them back.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that.
No matter what you would do, your movements wouldn't cause those things to come back down.
Eyeball things are literally not for me in any way, shape, or form.
It gets worse.
No, you need to stop saying that is the thing.
It gets worse. Besides these horrifying symptoms, patients with chronic lethargic encephalitis can sometimes also experience a host of psychological symptoms, ranging from, like I said, hallucinations, extreme emotions, and excessive puns is one of the things that is listed.
Are you affected by this?
It's called I do love a pun.
You love a pun.
But then I looked it up. It's an actual thing.
How? So what makes that happen?
It is called Witzelsucht.
Witzelsucht.
And it can happen when certain parts of the brain connected to the frontal lobe have been damaged. Like, people will suddenly fall into a thing where, like, they cannot stop making puns.
What?
Like, it's a real thing. And because I can always connect anything to Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the original run.
Always.
There was an episode where one of them put on a belt, a magical belt that made it so they had to tell, like, 1,000,000 puns before it would come off.
Do you think they were inspired by EL?
And I was like, were you talking about Witzelsucht?
They might have been.
I think they were inspired by Witzelsucht. But I was like, but that happens when, like, traumatic brain injuries happen. Like, that's no fucking joke.
So that same thing happens from a TBI occasionally?
It can happen, yeah. Like, it can happen. It has to be, like, I think a very specific injury.
Like, region of the brain.
Or some very specific connection, which I'm not even sure they are fully sure which connection needs to be, like, severed or damaged. But it's like, it can happen.
The brain
is
a wild bitch.
But that can happen. Witzelsucht can happen because of chronic lethargic encephalitis.
The thing is, I feel like I hear about these things and then I'm a hypochondriac, so I think that I'm experiencing them. So I'd like to personally thank you so much for this episode.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow I'm going to be punning out for days.
Well, and it gets worse.
So you should literally name this episode It Gets Worse.
You know what? I think I might actually subtitle this It Gets Worse.
EL. It gets worse.
It gets worse. Some of the scariest cases happen to 30% of chronic lethargic encephalitis sufferers, and it puts them into straight up psychosis. Worse even was the fact that this happens to children more than adults.
Oh, and that's so sad because, I mean, you don't understand this anyway, but kids are probably like, what the fuck is happening to me?
And get ready because it's going to get gnarly for a second. Just a little warning.
No.
Children begin experiencing violent outbursts and harming themselves and others.
Oh.
Young kids would attempt to harm, sexually assault, and murder those around them, including their own siblings.
What?
Young children, too. Like 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds and shit. One documented case happened, and it is in every medical thing about this, where an 8-year-old girl pulled out her teeth and then calmly gouged out both of her eyes.
No, thank you. Yes, nope.
Because of lethargic encephalitis.
Oh my God.
And everyone experiencing these bouts of extreme violent psychosis could describe the events later and said they felt like zombies during it.
So did they feel pain when this would happen?
I don't think if they felt pain, then they just didn't care. Like they knew they hated doing whatever they were doing. Like they said, I was repulsed by my behavior, but I felt compelled to do it.
What the fuck?
Isn't that horrifying?
Oh, that's so sad for that little girl because, like,
8-year-old.
did she recover and then she was blind?
Find anything out about her, like, prognosis after that.
That's
she
so
lived,
sad.
but at what cost at that point? She pulled out her teeth and her eyes.
Like, all of them?
And they said she, like, calmly just plucked out her eyes.
I need you to stop.
Now, a great number of these survivors, especially children, ended up in institutions or ending their own lives just to end the torment.
That's the thing, because that's exactly the perfect word, is torment.
It's truly torment. And how did it spread?
Yes.
We still don't fucking know.
Get out of here.
There's evidence of it being highly transmissible, like person to person, a la COVID. And there's evidence that it doesn't get past person to person. To me, it feels very COVID sometimes. Like sometimes it's going to knock down everyone around you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people will just mysteriously avoid it, even being in the same house.
And this is a virus.
Yeah, this is a virus. And possibly there was different mutations and strains that they just weren't known about at the time.
Oh.
And maybe that's why some of those strains were more contagious, some weren't.
More transmissible,
But they couldn't figure it out because it also didn't last long enough for them to really do as much. And at the time, they didn't have the technology that we obviously have now. So one example of this is from 1919. So this is only a few years after it started. And there was a wild outbreak at the Derby and Derbyshire Rescue and Training Home for Girls.
Okay.
In a period of 2 weeks, 12 out of 21 girls came down with lethargic encephalitis.
Wow.
6 died within 2 weeks of being diagnosed.
Oh my gosh.
Treatments were basically nothing. Like, they didn't really have anything to treat you with. They used electroconvulsive therapy, but there was no cure or real productive treatment that they could find.
Wow.
There's legit thunder right now.
There's thunder, and it was lasting for so long that I was like...
It's also sunny and like 1,000,000 degrees out right now. So
probably why.
Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, and then tomorrow's supposed to be super cold, so like cold front meets a warm front, you know?
Just meteorology in here.
Meteorology with Ash.
But it was like rumbling off in the distance as I was talking about
it just
this.
kept going.
But
it makes sense that it's thundering right now while you're talking about
does.
EL.
The doom and gloom of it all.
What the fook?
So that's the thing. It's like that Derby and Derbyshire like rescue and training home, that would showcase that it's highly transmissible person to person because they're all living together.
Yeah.
But then there were other, like, I found a bunch of other things that said, like, a whole family would have, like, one person would get it, no one else would get it.
Like with COVID.
So I feel like there had to have been mutations and strains of this that they just weren't able to detect at the time.
That makes sense.
But they didn't really, like I said, they had nothing to really treat this with.
This might be like a really stupid question, but is there any way that they could study it now? Like, could they find the virus?
Well, the thing is, this kind of pieced out. Like, it's so rare now that I don't even think it's like a thing.
But like, don't they want to know so that like, what if it happens again?
Well, yeah. I mean, but like, how are they really gonna?
Well, that was my question.
I don't really know if they can.
What?
And all this kind of brings me to the notion that medicine and medical treatments for these types of things were not great, even at that time, like in the 20s. You know what I mean?
I mean, it makes sense.
But before then, it was abysmal. Like, we thought that was bad. Medicine was terrifying, and like, they would just like throw willy-nilly things at a wall to see what would fix. Now, Louisiana and New Orleans in particular was hit pretty hard with lethargic encephalitis.
I wonder what the reason was for that.
They weren't hit like particularly hard. Like, they didn't get it above and overall everybody, but they definitely got hit hard.
They were among the hardest.
Yeah, they were just among some of the gnarly ones. And in 1922, doctors were fumbling to try to find a diagnosis, like or something to diagnose it properly. I mean. And by then, medicine had at least moved past the point of like, do some cocaine about it. Like, that was like a thing way back then.
Oh yeah.
But like 2 years prior to this, I believe in 1920, penicillin was discovered. So like,
great.
They were moving in the right direction at this point. Like, you know, so there was a little more.
Penicillin cures like everything.
And what's crazy is by 1926, the disease just like seemingly stopped.
It just vanished.
It just dwindled into nothing. And by 1930, it was all but forgotten.
Wow.
And now it's like nowhere. It's like, I couldn't even find.
You know why it's nowhere? Because she had hers.
It was, whew.
That's insane.
So I just had to go through that because that astounded me and fascinated me. I was like, everybody needs to know about this.
How does this carry into the rest of the episode?
It's very loosely, but we're gonna go with it
because I was hella interested.
I'm glad. It was just really scary. I was like, medical stuff is scary. We are gonna talk about medical stuff and like pharmacies and stuff, so I figured it was a nice little segue into it.
I love it.
And I found it while I was looking at these things, so I was like, there we go.
You find something like this, you gotta tell other people.
I gotta share it.
Yes.
I can't just hold this in. I was telling John about it, and he was like, okay, can you just tell everybody else, please?
Yeah, he probably got nervous like me, too.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want that at all.
He was like, I feel like knowing about it will make me have it. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
Today's episode is sponsored by Honey. I personally think about saving money a lot, but as a chronic online shopper, I'm not always locked and loaded with a coupon code, or at least I didn't used to be. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for a coupon code is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Picture this. Let's have a little picture sesh. Imagine that you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds. Honey's going to search for the coupons it can find for that site. And if it finds a working coupon, then you will watch the prices drop. And let me just tell you, that's orgasmic. But if you don't watch the prices drop, then you just have peace of mind knowing that you got the best price out there. I use Honey on essentially everything that I shop for. I use it when I'm doing clothing shopping. I used it a ton when I was doing Christmas shopping. Let me tell you, this year I saved so much money on Christmas shopping because I didn't have to be locked and loaded with the coupon code. Honey had it for me. Honey doesn't also just work on a desktop, by the way. It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. You can shop anywhere with Honey. It's amazing. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. I'd never recommend something that I don't use. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/morbid. That's joinhoney.com/morbid.
So it made me think about like Spanish flu and how we were so amazed at all that when we were recording the Axemen of New Orleans episode.
Oh, what a better time.
And how we were just like, whoa, they were wearing masks and like stores were shut down. That's insane.
That must have been so wild.
Crazy. And then we ate our hats about that. And now I'm like, well, how were things even before this medically? Like, what was going on? It was bad. So let's travel back in time a bit in New Orleans.
Okay.
It wasn't until 1804 that there were any kind of laws or regulations regarding medicine and pharmacies or pharmacists.
Oh, good. That's great.
Before that, it was just like
a free-for-all.
You know what? I would love to just do this. So you just like open a store and be like, well, I can bloodlet you if you'd like to come in.
Woof.
Yeah. So in 1804, Governor William Claiborne was like, wait a second. Maybe we should actually be making sure that people who are diagnosing and treating unknown and deadly diseases know what they're doing.
Like have some kind of credential.
Yeah, and that they're not just like poisoning people with reckless abandon. I feel like this is like a great move to make.
Good for him.
Good for him, man. Because so these new laws went into motion and it made it so that if you wanted to open a pharmacy and be a pharmacist, you had to go through a 3-hour oral exam and also go to school. And it had to be given by like trusted doctors. Like this whole thing had to happen.
Good.
If you passed to that, you were in. Before that, nobody had done that.
Wow.
So the first person to pass this exam officially was Louis J. DeFilo.
Get it, Louis.
Now, after he completed his studies at the College of Pharmacy in Paris, France, he ended up running the first officially regulated and trusted pharmacy in the United States.
Very cool.
What a badass.
Yeah.
So he was like the first licensed pharmacist in the United States.
I wasn't sure if we were rooting for him or not.
We're rooting for him.
Okay.
He's pretty rad.
I didn't know if you were like throwing me for a loop.
I won't do that to you. So he married Emmy Adele Becknell. And had, which like,
what a flow,
name, right?
Emmy Adele Becknell.
Ooh, it's just like, it's pretty.
I would introduce myself to people constantly.
My entire name all the time.
I would never stop introducing myself.
And I wouldn't take his name. I'd be like, my name is Emmy Adele Becknell.
You have a name that cool? Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Together they had 7 children.
A lot.
A lot of children. When they opened the pharmacy and townhouse together, Because remember, they opened the first licensed photography pharmacy together.
There you go.
They added a soda fountain, a post office. I think there was like a hardware store, like a convenience thing to make it like a one-stop shop in New Orleans.
Opened a strip mall.
They literally did. Because back then, pharmacies were that. They were like a place to hang out. And like, I remember when we were doing the Leopold and Loeb episode we did for like one of our live shows, which I think we'll probably re-record that at some point because like that's a crazy tale and that was like a long time ago.
And I feel like you could go even more in depth now.
Exactly. I remember part of that was because it was around this time period, and I remember part of that was like they would go, like they talked about how you would go hang out at a pharmacy and it had like candy and drinks and blah and blah. Like it wasn't just like an apothecary.
It was an arcade even.
It was like a cool place to hang out, I guess. So they made it like a really cool place to hang out. And this pharmacy was at present day 514 Charter Street in New Orleans. And it's a museum today.
Oh, very cool.
You can go there and see the Apothecary Museum, like the Pharmacy Museum.
In the original building?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah, let's go.
He lived with his family in the pharmacy until 1855. So the building had been built to have the pharmacy on the bottom floor and then 2 floors on top where they could live.
Okay.
He and his family stayed here, working, living, experiencing some traumas. Like the loss of 2 of their young children in the home.
Oh.
Not at once, but just 2 at different times, thanks to like the 1800s of it all, basically.
Yeah.
And then in 1855, he wanted to bring his family back to France to live because that's where he was from. So he retired after 30 years of being the first pharmacist in the United States.
Seems fair.
And he sold the pharmacy for $18,000 to a man named Dr. Joseph Dupas.
He's a dick, isn't he?
This guy was an evil fuck.
I just felt it.
Yeah, he's an evil fuck. No one liked him. And I think he was like a battle medic, like from the war.
Okay.
But he was like shit.
Oh,
he
great.
was nothing.
Awesome.
He was not shit.
That's who we want as a pharmacist.
Yeah, you don't want that. No one liked him. And the popularity of the pharmacy really just plummeted. Oh. People didn't trust him, but he was kind of like a necessary evil to them. So they just kind of used him reluctantly. And because he sucked and no one wanted to come to his pharmacy, he kind of just forced them to come to his pharmacy. So the way he would do it was he would put things like heroin and cocaine in his mixtures of medicine when they were never necessary or when they were just normally not used in those medicines. Because remember, those were things that were used before.
So he was making people dependent on the medicine?
He would add them in, exactly, not for the healing properties, but because they were addictive. And it would make customers keep having to come back again and again.
Imagine that.
He also would add voodoo into his practices, but he was not a professional and he was not careful or respectable about it. He did it recklessly and sloppily. So he caused a lot of uproar that way. And he literally used his position to perform horrific medical experimentation on random people, because pharmacists at this time acted as doctors as well. They would do like minor things. So he would test medications of his own creation, or he would like bloodlet and test how long people would bleed out. He used scissors and razor blades on small issues when he didn't need to, like cut people up.
What the fuck
Seemingly,
is this guy?
he was fucked. And seemingly he would just love the pain. And just like, he just liked having helpless victims who would come to him for medical help.
So in other words, he was a serial killer.
Yeah, essentially. Most notably, and most often, young, poor, pregnant women are the people he would test on.
No.
He would test poisons and force feed the medications that would kill their child or kill child and mother together.
Oh, no.
He would literally cause miscarriages. Many of them were killed in the process, like the mother was too. And he would bring them to the back alley of the pharmacy where he would throw their remains into a waiting carriage and then bring them somewhere to dump them.
And how did nobody catch on to this?
Well, they did. So to this day, no one knows the amount of victims because a lot of them were poor.
Right.
And a lot of them, like, just, he used that as to his advantage.
He preyed upon them.
But some remains were found after his death, and they were found in the courtyard behind the building. He had buried them.
I'm so pissed that it was after he died, so he didn't have to do
he didn't have to face anything. And he was questioned by police before he died because neighbors saw the strange coming and goings of patients, or the strange comings and not goings of patients.
Yeah.
And they were the ones who alerted authorities, but there was no proof to tie him to anything. He would because he would just claim these pregnant women moved back to wherever they came from. And that was that. He was like, oh,
so
he came to me
shitty.
for this medicine. I gave him to her. She's gone.
Wow.
And a lot of them didn't have a lot of family or people they were connected to.
Yeah.
Luckily, this fuck died of syphilis in 1897.
Oh, fucking hell yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Can I get an amen?
Can I get a hell yeah? Now, remember, this place is still open as a museum now.
Woof.
With everything set up like it is, it's like pretty remarkable. I want to see it. But there's some residual, some energy happening.
Well,
It's
if he
lingering
was
around.
practicing voodoo with no experience and murdering people like hand in hand,
Yeah.
that might lead to some hauntings.
Yeah, I feel like that it's he feels like he was like a really, really, really bad Dr. Facilier.
Is that the guy from Princess and the Frog? Because you took that thought from my brain. I just want to let you know that was my thought.
Like he was messing with things he shouldn't have been messing with.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. And at least Dr. Facilier had some kind of like know-how. This guy did not.
He had nothing.
He just like, but I think he opened shit up that he shouldn't have opened.
I think so too. I think it already sounds like that, and I don't even know what happened.
It does. So apparently people will see an apparition of a man in a brown suit and hat with a mustache. And they're said to be seeing him a lot.
Get away from me.
This is thought to be Dr. Dupas because he often dressed like this. Like he was always wearing his brown suit. He would have a lab coat over it. Sometimes people see that lab coat.
Of course he dressed like a big old bag of poop.
Of course he did. Employees who work at the museum say people will see him and then the alarm will be tripped. Ooh. And they'll come in to see this. And like at night, the alarm will trip a lot. And they'll come in to see the place like kind of ransacked, like, but nothing stolen, just things thrown around, but with no evidence on the cameras of anyone entering or leaving the building.
But can they see things flying around?
But they can like, I don't know if they have that on camera, but they'll come in and they'll see like things scattered.
Ooh.
And like the entrance cameras show that like no one came in, no one came out, and the doors remain locked.
Terrifying.
So visitors will also say they feel a heaviness in the museum, like really immediately.
Yeah, I bet.
Particularly any visitor who is pregnant. They say that they'll feel like overcome with emotions in that museum. And if they travel to the second floor where he would perform a lot of his heinous medical experimentations that ended in death, many say they will experience nausea and lightheadedness, or they'll feel cramping in their stomach.
Ooh, I would not go here.
Which
if
is
I was
like,
pregnant now,
holy
knowing
shit.
that.
I know now I'm like, wait until you had that baby.
Yes, after, what is it, gestation?
And people obviously think this is like the pregnant victims, like the spirits of them, like just reaching out.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like really scary.
That's
It gave me the chills.
Yeah.
The chilly willies.
That is heavy AF.
Now, people also will see a young boy and a young girl running around in period clothing.
Oh,
And
okay.
These are thought to be the spirits of the young children that belong to the original owners, Dr. DeFilo and his wife.
I feel like they should be in France.
I know, the ones who passed away in the home, obviously. And they're reported to be happy, but very mischievous. And patrons have seen them and thought they were just like part of some... Like they were like, oh, they dressed up little kids in period clothing.
Right,
and they're
right.
like, no, we did not do that.
Yeah,
like that's not
moral of
something
the
we do.
story is that no one is ever actually dressed in period
That's the
clothing.
thing.
That's a myth.
I feel like that happens a lot. Like all the lighthouses we've done are people like, I thought it was part of the show, and it's like it's never part of the show.
Never.
Like it's never part of the show.
Like if we ever go anywhere and I see somebody dressed in period clothing, I'm going to assume that person is dead and a ghost.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming that's a ghost.
And I'm not going to ask anybody if anybody's dressed up.
No, what I'm going to do is go straight over to that person and be like, "Are you a fucking ghost?"
Or are you just an
it's
actor
cool.
in period
It's
clothing?
cool. We are cool.
Yeah,
But, like,
we can vibe.
are you or you not a spirit, bro?
You go over to the guy dressed in period clothing and you say, "What the fuck is up, Kyle?"
And they just go whoosh and,
And then they say, "Goodbye.
Good farewell.
Ta-ta. Ta-ta for now."
Whatever their period's goodbye was.
They say, "Deuces."
Deuces. Why doesn't that ever happen? We talk about this a lot.
Because we haven't seen anybody haunted yet.
No, we haven't.
That's why it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened.
Did I say we haven't seen anybody
You have,
haunted?
but I just let it go.
I've seen a lot of haunted people,
seen-
actually. I haven't... Well, yeah, I've also seen some ghosts, so I've seen it all.
I've seen it all. I've
seen-
seen some shit.
I was going to say
Oh my God, we're right on.
I was going to say that.
So yeah. So some have also seen women. Guys,
We are trailing off.
Woo! It's, after we've had a lot going on this week.
We're
so
slappy.
I'm slap happy. So a lot of people will see a woman walking around the courtyard in the back and
spooky.
seeming to be sad or lost in thought.
Aww.
When they approach her, she vanishes quickly or she hurries away and then seems to vanish.
She says, leave me alone.
Yeah, she's like, everyone leave me alone. Now, that's the crazy pharmacy in New Orleans.
It sure was.
Speaking of medical shit in New Orleans, let's end our chat with a doomed affair, a murder, and a quarantine hospital, huh?
Let's
do that. Okay. So
let's do that.
Let's do that. In 1803, a married couple moved to the French Quarter together.
Fancy.
And they were going to build a business together. They were like, the world is our oyster. Let's go.
Cute.
They were Guillaume Marr and Mary Wheaton.
Okay.
And they moved from France.
Mary Wheaton.
I know.
Is that her?
Is that her? It isn't her.
Oh.
But isn't that funny?
That is funny.
In part of my case was, what's her name? Mary Eleanor?
Oh, we're on a different page. I was thinking about Wheaton College.
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah.
Either way, this isn't her.
Okay.
So Mary Wheaton, and they arrived in New Orleans and bought 2 buildings on the same block. So one of them was 508 Toulouse Street and 514 Toulouse Street. One was set up to be a feed store, which is like food for livestock and shit.
Indeed.
And the other was an oyster shucking house, which I thought you would love.
Fucking go. I can shuck an oyster.
You could have worked here.
I would have.
You would have loved it.
Maybe not.
Probably not. I definitely would not.
Stinky.
Unfortunately, soon after opening these, Marr, Guillaume, he died of yellow fever.
Oh.
Because that was
rampant.
That was really just everywhere. Everyone who was dying of yellow fever. And Mary soon met another man named Joseph Baptiste, and they married in 1806. So she was just like, okay, bye, Guillaume. And then she just went on to the next. So this was actually Mary's 3rd marriage, and she had amassed quite a bit of money from her precious husbands.
Okay.
By all accounts, she was not, there's nothing nefarious when it comes to Mary's marriages.
She's just unlucky in love.
She was just unlucky, but she was getting a lot of money from it. So, and she was a business boss too. So she kept those businesses running constantly. Like when a husband would die, she took over and that was her thing.
Respectable.
Now, obviously, to everybody, it seemed like this guy, this Joseph Baptiste, he seemed like he was kind of after the money a little bit because, one, she had a lot of money, and 2, it was soon after her husband died. 3, he was apparently everywhere I saw it describes him as very unattractive. Oh, they were he was just this sloppy, balding guy.
Mary.
Who was just that's where I found the description of him is always sloppy and balding. And I'm in a not attractive way. You can be balding and be fine.
Plenty of bald dudes are just super
I'm
great.
just saying, I'm sticking up for you guys balding. It's
We
fine.
got you. It's okay.
This guy though, no.
Yeah.
Not sticking
well, and
up
he's
for him.
probably a dick anyway.
He is a dick and he was sloppy and gross.
Yeah, get out of here.
So they married in 1806.
I just love that sound. It is the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses all alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. Like mine, Shopify powers millions of businesses from first sale to full scale. You can reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Synchronize all your online and in-person sales and gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. More than a store, Shopify grows with you. You can discover inspiration because Shopify believes in liberating commerce for all, because entrepreneurship has the power to drive communities forward and commerce can be a force for good. Shopify also unlocks the opportunity of your business to more people every day. Every 28 seconds, an entrepreneur like you makes their first sale on Shopify. So what the heck are you waiting for? Go to shopify.com/morbid, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/morbid right now. Shopify.com/morbid. I wish that I had known about American Home Shield when we were purchasing our home, because a lot of things have gone wrong with her. And, you know, it would have been nice to have American Home Shield because we had to get a new AC condenser and like all these other things. And now I'm like, ooh, we are going to sign up for that as soon as humanly possible. So keep your home up and running and budget on track with American Home Shield. Right now, Morbid listeners can take $50 off their most comprehensive plans ever. Go to ahs.com/morbid now to save $50. That's ahs.com/morbid for $50 off any plan. Service fees, limitations, and exclusions apply. See your plan for details. American Home Shield. Be sure with the shield.
Again, she had a lot of money. She was running those businesses. She was going for it. Now, he immediately started cheating on her, like immediately having an affair.
I hope he balds even more.
Right. So, and because this is where all horrific ghost stories, I feel like, and like bad vibes happen, there's always an affair, always involved.
Both of our cases the other night
It's
featured
true.
affairs, and we actually did not plan that.
Gnarly affairs. That's always how it is. It should have been named Gnarly Affairs.
Just gonna say
I don't know
that.
why we didn't do that.
Idiots.
Hindsight, you know?
2020.
So he started a very torrid affair with a woman named Angelique Dubois.
I mean, if you're gonna have a torrid affair with anybody, it's gonna be with Angelique Dubois.
Yeah, Angelique Dubois only has torrid affairs.
Yeah, she
doesn't
time
have
for
relationships.
nothing else.
She has torrid affairs.
Yeah, she doesn't give her heart to anybody. Angelique's
No.
heart is her own.
Angelique Dubois. And apparently she was described as like beautiful, obviously, because her name is Angelique Dubois.
Duh.
And she had brown hair down to her waist.
Oh, girl.
And like was just like very ethereal looking. Like she's Angelique Dubois.
I love it.
You know? So Angelique Dubois, she, you know, shit's going down with her.
She
So-
rents, it's like she has space in your head rent free, like the kids say.
Oh, absolutely. Like the youths
Because
would
I
say.
fucked that up real bad. She
did.
has space in your head rent free. That's good.
She has some rented space in your
That's
head.
free.
And she doesn't even pay for it.
Yeah,
So-
that's what the kids are calling it.
That's what the kids say. Well, Angelique actually did pay rent because she actually worked in the feed store he owned with his wife. Woof, by the way. She also rented a small room on the 3rd floor of the building.
Oh, so he was up on the 3rd floor a lot.
So he was shitting where he worked. So he's a fucking cad, is what he is.
Oh, a cad?
He's a cad.
I've never heard of that.
Take off a glove, slap him across the face, and go, "You cad."
What, cad is like an ass?
Yeah. Like you're
Cad.
saying, cad.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Oh my god, I think that's in a Sabrina the Teenage Witch episode.
Wow,
Actually,
who are you even?
I think they. Oh my god, it is.
It is?
Okay, guys, brief break because we're crazy.
It's a fun episode.
It's a fun episode. We're here. Yep, there's an episode where Harvey gets put under. Nope, not Harvey. Her other boyfriend there gets put under a spell. And he turns into like some gross, like
Josh.
creepy. Yes, Josh. Good job.
Thank you.
And he has that creepy. They give him like a creepy little pencil mustache.
Ew.
And he acts like a creeper.
Okay.
And the way to break the spell is she has to slap him across the face and say, "You cad," and then it breaks the spell.
I'm Googling cad.
Do it.
I've never heard this.
I love it. I think it needs to be brought back.
I suppose I have, because I've probably seen that episode.
I just think that we should bring it back. Is all.
A cad?
I also feel like we should play the clip really quick. So hold
it.
on.
Don't be afraid to swoon. I'll be here to catch you.
Okay, he's under a cad spell. I hate to do this. You cat!
I'm done. I googled it too, and it means a man who behaves dishonorably, especially toward a woman. And then for the similar words, scoundrel.
Scoundrel.
Which I love that word.
I honestly, I did not see it in anything. I just was when I read about him, I was like, what a fucking cad.
You
like it just
have
popped into my brain.
A phenomenal vocabulary.
Thank you.
Ma would be, I mean, she's like around. She's proud.
Ma would be proud.
I'm like, she would be so
She's
proud of
around.
you. She's like over there.
She's over there. It's
She's
fine. Yeah, so he's a fucking cad.
He is.
He really is. And
What a
also,
scoundrel.
I love being able to prove that I can connect anything to Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Everybody has a talent. That just
is
happens
mine.
to be one of yours.
That is mine. I want to watch that episode. So
Do it after.
Angelique Dubois is clearly not going to just step aside. You know this.
Gals like her are at the forefront. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl.
She's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl.
But is she kind of a bitch?
She's having an affair with a married man, and
So
it gets
bitch.
worse because, of course, their affair was like very intense, but like not that long when this happened. So all of a sudden, she's like, "You need to leave your wife and marry me."
No.
And he's like, "No," which I'm not sure why. Like
his
what
wife
the
is
deal
rich.
was, and I think it was just the money.
Definitely.
But it's like, you're the worst. Like you're both the worst.
You're both cads.
But she got pissed and they started to have like a really intense argument. This thing lasted through the entire, it was after hours, obviously, but it lasted like throughout the entire feed store. They were just screaming at each other,
Chasing each other around, throwing like seeds at each
just
other.
throwing livestock food at each other. They ended up at the top floor where she finally screamed, "I'm going to tell your wife about us."
Which she did by screaming it in the place where the wife was.
Well, that was all he needed to hear to fly into a blind state of rage, because he grabbed her by the throat and strangled her, but didn't initially kill her. She went unconscious, so he just threw her off the side of the 3-story building.
Are you shitting me?
She hit the pavement in the courtyard below and died on impact.
Oh,
She
yeah.
broke her neck immediately.
Oh.
Yeah. So he ran down those stairs looking around to make sure no one had seen this happen, because again, it was after hours. And he quickly decided he had to dispose of this body now. And so he looks around the courtyard and saw like a sewer hole.
Stop it.
And he threw her into the hole and buried her.
Wow.
Thinking he got away with it. But what he didn't realize was that a young teenage boy had been looking into the courtyard from another building while this occurred.
Amazing.
He saw the entire thing. He heard the entire thing. Joseph saw him.
Good.
Saw him looking out that window.
Oh.
When he saw him, they both looked at each other and the kid ran. But Joseph panicked. He chased him and lost him. And at this point, he knew he was caught. And now, not only was he caught having an affair, but he was caught murdering someone and burying the body. You don't get out of that?
That's the catch of all cops.
And now he knew there was no way of stopping this kid from spilling the beans of what he had just done. Also, I'm sure the rage wore off a bit and the full realization of what he had done probably started to hit him. At least I hope it did.
Yeah.
He trudged his way up to the 3rd floor where he had killed Angelique, and he hung himself from the balcony immediately.
Coward.
Now, luckily, the teen boy did alert the cops. He ran right to the authorities. They were able to find Angelique's body, but he had obviously taken the coward's way out, like you said, never faced any charges for it. Now, Mary, his widow there, just kept running the business there.
She was like, I got shit to do.
Yeah, she was like, I'm busy. And
she was booked and busy, baby.
She was busy.
I'm proud of her.
She kept living on the 2nd floor.
Good.
Whatever.
Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong.
Unfortunately, she died at 35 years old. I'm assuming it was probably yellow fever, because I think everybody was dying at that time of that. But it wasn't long after this that the building changed hands, because obviously she's gone. There's no one else to give it to. And it turned into a hospital that was used to quarantine yellow fever victims. They would literally seal off 2 floors and quarantine.
So that's going to be even more hauntified.
Now, basically, it was a place for them to die horrifically.
Yeah.
These kind of quarantine hospitals were very common, and unfortunately, people would often be suffering so much that they would just choose to throw themselves out of windows and off of buildings to their deaths rather
horrible.
than continue to die slowly.
Right.
So these buildings still exist, though, and they're not quarantine hospitals anymore, although we won't be so shocked at this stuff after the last couple of years we've all had.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're not quarantine hospitals anymore, and then I'm like, but
they might
it
come
wouldn't
around
be crazy
again.
if they weren't. But what is crazy to see, though, now is that the windows of this building all have metal bars covering them. And they were put there during the yellow fever epidemic to stop patients from constantly throwing themselves out of the windows to their deaths.
God.
That's how much of a problem it was. And they are still there as a very creepy reminder of that.
Seriously, how spooky to see that in person, I bet.
So spooky. Now, in 1989, the building became an Irish pub, which is...
Wow, this building has seen some shit.
It's a sharp turn. It was called O'Flaherty's Irish Pub, and it was opened by Daniel O'Flaherty, to be exact. Of course, immediately sightings of our original 2 toxic lovers, as well as yellow fever victims, were aplenty.
Oh, I bet.
In fact, it quickly became known as one of the most haunted areas in the French Quarter at the time.
Oh, shit.
Which is like that's a distinguished title.
I was going to say that is something.
Because that is one of the spookiest and haunted places ever. So Daniel, the owner, he played Celtic music. I always say Celtic.
Yeah. I know
I've
it's
heard-
like, it's hot for debate whether it's Celtic
is.
or Celtic, but I'm like you, I say Celtic.
We always grew up saying Celtic in my house, so that's what I'm going to say.
True
but-
Ireland heads, let us know.
Yeah, please do. So he would play Celtic music on the balcony often. That was
love
like
that.
part of the charm.
Yeah, that's very charming.
While Mary, our jilted woman, would sometimes appear and listen. She would do this when he played a specific song, which was Red is the Rose.
Ooh.
And I was like, ooh,
So was I.
I got to know the lyrics to this. So I looked and I was like, oh, I think that played in our house a lot because we had Irish music playing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot in our house. So this one, some of the lyrics are, come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass, come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll make the vow, and I'll be your true love forever.
Oh.
Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. I hope it is.
Boyne.
But my love is fairer than any.
Oh.
And then at one point it says, it's not for the parting that my sister pains. It's not for the grief of my mother. It's all for the loss of my bonny Irish lass that my heart is breaking forever.
That's so sad.
And I'm like, was she just like feeling it?
She probably was.
She was just sad.
Yeah,
She was
right?
just bummed out.
I hate that.
But, you know, people also see her in the second floor window looking into the courtyard. Ooh. And she just stares and then walks away. And remember, the courtyard is where Angelique was thrown to her death. So I don't know if she's just staring and
She's reminiscing.
thinking some thoughts. But cooks in the kitchen will also see her in the kitchen. And they say that, like, it appears like she's, like, making sure shit's going right because she's a businesswoman and she's like, don't fuck up my shit.
It's so funny. I feel like, I don't know, I'm like, this happens often. Here's this one instance of it. But I do feel like this happens often with like cooks in a kitchen because I used to work at an Irish pub and the cooks in the kitchen, I think probably because they work so late into the night, this happens. Yeah. They would constantly see like spirits and everything.
It does. I think it is because they're working so late and probably because they're just like the lifeblood of a restaurant, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I think if there's any spirits in a pub or a restaurant, they're probably going to make themselves known to the people cooking the food.
Makes sense.
It's also, there's a bunch of stories that she throws things at women patrons too.
Oh. Well, maybe she's like, stay away from my man.
Well, I'm like, can we really blame her?
No.
She hasn't had great
I'd let her throw
experience with
something
it.
at me.
I'd be like, it's okay, girl. Now, people also saw Joseph's body swinging from the third floor balcony.
Oh, I don't.
Like, they'll
ever
look
wanna
up
see
and
that.
think they see it, and then they'll look again and it's gone.
Oh, that's really spooky.
But I'm like, I don't want to see it even for a second.
No.
Now, sometimes when they were up there, because like there's several floors to the pub and everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know. Well, it's not there anymore. I shouldn't say there are. But there was.
Okay.
Now, the people would be up there and they would feel like they were being pushed.
Ooh.
And some people would get scratched and have visible scratches.
That always freaks me the fuck out because
Yeah.
what energy is is it people that are scratching you or
I
is
know.
it energy?
I'm like, what's happening?
freaks me out, dude.
Apparently, fights often happen up there too, and patrons suddenly feel aggressive and belligerent. It comes on with no provocation, although I imagine alcohol could have something to do with this. That's just me.
I was like, we are at a pub.
But like I'm like, I saw it and I was like, I'll pass it along. But like, I was pretty sure.
I too have seen many fights break out at a pub.
You know what? Let's call this one debunked. Let's call that one little instance. Like, I think people just fight because they're drunk. But
think
that's
so
just
too.
me. But you know what? He was a dunk. He was a dunk. He was a dick and a punk. I don't know if I was saying. I don't really know what that was.
Yeah.
He's a punk.
I like that. A dunk.
He's a dunk.
You're a dick punk.
He was a dunk and he was super aggressive. It's
like a dunce.
So maybe his energy is aggressive, like violent energy is just making people, because there are stories where people say like nothing's going on and they just feel like fighting someone. But I'm also like, you probably just had one too many beers.
Yeah, I feel like that's what that is. But what, you know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
but
not me.
many people would also run into Angelique just wandering around the courtyard and
Being ethereal.
sometimes being on the third floor and crying.
Oh,
Which is sad.
that is sad.
But on nights, like, because it's just like, you know what, everyone made, like, Angelique made a mistake here.
Everybody makes
Like,
mistakes.
she did not deserve to die for it.
Everybody has those days.
But on nights that the pub was in full swing, Angelique came out to play. Because she is Angelique Dubois. She
Stunts
is not.
And shows.
She is not sitting in her room. She would flirt with customers
Of course she
who would describe her to a T, like the long brown hair to her waist, and they would say that she would touch their arms and hands and whisper things to them.
Whisper sweet nothings in their ear.
Whispering sweet nothings. And when they lost track of her because she just vanished,
because she's a ghost,
the employees would tell them that they just got hit on by a ghost.
What a cool fucking story.
And they were like, what?
2 truths and a lie, let's go.
Well, and this will like kind of bring Angelique into like a better light too, because she also really likes children and will sometimes hold their hands.
Cute.
And like not in an aggressive way, but like in a comforting way. And she really likes men, so she'll hold men's hands as well.
That's adorable.
But Angelique will also sometimes just join ghost tours of the area. Like,
stop.
Just like will see her, and then she's gone, but her description is always the same, and it's always around that place.
Right.
Like she'll just join the ghost tour really quick.
That's really cool.
Now, things also got thrown across the bar, and not by rowdy patrons. At night, while the staff would be cleaning, a bottle would just sail across the room. And they thought originally it was Angelique just getting kind of like spicy because she was a little bit spicy in life. But I could also see it being Joseph because his temper sounded like it was pretty fucking bad considering it led him to murder someone. So
maybe he's just throwing like all the bottom shelf liquor, like get this the fuck out of here.
And maybe he's just being a piece of shit dunk.
Top shelf only.
Now, even worse though, like that's all fun and games, like fun, like, you know.
Nervous.
But there's stories of hearing the coughing and sniffling and crying of quarantined yellow fever patients. People will still hear on like the upper floors where they would quarantine them, they'll hear fits of gagging and coughing. And they'll hear people like wailing and crying. And worse yet, many have reported hearing specifically young children coughing and calling for their mothers.
No, that would ruin my entire fucking life.
Science tells us that the best way to achieve and maintain consistent deep sleep is by lowering core body temperature. Temperature-controlled sleep repairs muscles after a hard day's work and improves cognitive function so you always start your day feeling sharp and alert. Chilly sleep makes the coldest and most comfortable sleep systems available. They create the environment that meets the body's natural need for lower core temperatures, promoting deeper, restorative sleep. Chilly Sleep makes the Uller, the Cube, and Doc Pro sleep systems water-based, temperature-controlled mattress toppers that fit over your existing mattress to provide your ideal sleep temperature. These mattress pads keep your bed at the perfect temperature for deep, cold sleep. And these sleep systems are designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day. They also just launched the new Doc Pro sleep system. It has 2 times more cold power than other models, is whisper quiet, and has a tubeless mattress pad design that allows for 5 times more cooling contact. Are you joking me? Pair it with the new Sleep.me app for enhanced device control and sleep scheduling. Personally, I'm not cool enough to have that, but I am cool enough to have the Uller, and I am obsessed with my Uller mattress topper. This machine, it comes with this machine that you hook up to your bed and then the mattress topper. The machine, you can control how loud it is. Personally, I like sleeping in a place where it sounds like New York City, so I have mine set to the highest possible sound, and it lulls me to sleep like I'm a little baby, and it keeps me cool all the way through. And it also is really cool because I can control Drew's too, and he sleeps like a furnace but always forgets to turn his on, so I can turn it on at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I wake up dripping sweat because he is an oven. It's wonderful. So head over to chillysleep.com/morbid to learn more and save 30% off the purchase of any new Cube or Uller system. Plus, save 10% off the purchase of a Doc Pro. This offer is available exclusively for Morbid, a True Crime Podcast listeners and only for a limited time. That's Chilly, CHILI, sleep.com/morbid to take advantage of our exclusive discounts and wake up refreshed every day.
Now, it is no longer O'Flaherty's pub. Now it's like a series of apartments, and there's a restaurant on the bottom floor, which is the New Orleans Creole Cookery Restaurant.
Ooh, I bet that food is
it's really good.
Die for.
All the same sightings and sounds seem to be occurring, apparently, and sometimes it like scares the shit out of people. People will like run out of there.
Well, because now you're in your apartment and they're hearing this shit. Like, that's not all right.
Exactly. But I want to visit this place. If anybody's visited that area, like, let us know. I would love to hear it. Yeah. And I'll feature it on another episode because I'm not done with New Orleans yet.
Never.
So these are just a couple of examples of of tragedy and the haunting that followed and a lot of like medical shit.
Yeah.
New Orleans fascinates me. So that's it. And
I love your ending. New Orleans fascinates me.
So here we are. That's definitely not the last one I'll do. This might be like a New Orleans-y week for me with cases. I just feel like I'm like entrenched in there.
I was working on my case today, and I do regret to inform you that it's not from New Orleans, but it is from North Carolina.
Ooh, same thing. So,
N. The letter of the week
N,
is
you know?
N. This is Sesame Street.
But you know, I thought those were like crazy. They had like a medical thing running through them, so that's the way I was connecting them. But I was like, I want to do a few spooky things from New Orleans
That
this
was
time.
super fun. Oh, we could do that with like a bunch of different places.
Yeah, there you go.
Very fun.
I like it. Let's do that. Because we got some episodes now that we're going to be able to fill with cool shit.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's go.
That was really, really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have been to that pharmacy museum or the New Orleans Creole Cookery, please let me know.
And thank you in advance for letting us know.
Hell yeah.
So punchy.
We are.
All right. Well, that was fucking phenomenal.
Thanks.
And we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
weird. But not to worry that you don't write in your stories about your weird New Orleans experiences, because we really want to read them and I can't wait to see them. Yay, bye.
Bye.
Angelique. Mary. France.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenx.
OmniWatch protects way more than just your passwords and logins. We protect what matters most. You, your family, and the life you live online. From scam alerts to dark web monitoring, OmniWatch has you covered around the clock. Real experts are just a call away. And with plans up to $4 million in identity theft insurance, you get total peace of mind. So whether you're Garden Gal 54 or Dad Bod 23, OmniWatch helps you browse, shop, and connect with confidence. Go to OmniWatch.com to get protected today.